Hi, my name is Anne and welcome to my channel Lilacs and Lilies. Today I thought I would talk a little bit about my experience teaching on PREPLY and some of the things that I've learned from being able to work with a variety of people and kind of my takeaways from that. So let's jump in. My first things would be definitely logistics things. So I love the fact that I'm able to choose my own hours, I'm able to choose my own rates, and to more or less point, I'm able to select if I would like to continue with someone or not. I know that sometimes it can be a little bit tricky when we're talking about having a job where you have to evaluate yourself and like saying this is how much I charge, especially when it's such a competitive platform where someone can actually charge way less than you do or way more than you do, and kind of trying to figure out where that bubble is. Once you figure out where you want to be and you kind of creep your way up, you still do have a say over that. And if you're actually worth the money, I guess, you will actually be able to make a really great position on that platform, and you get to meet lots of cool people. My thing about the people and the people that I'm able to work with and teach is that I am just obsessed with the fact that there's such a variety of people in the world, and the fact that we can actually connect with others. And when we're able to use English, when we're able to use that as like a platform to communicate and to learn about each other's cultures, to learn about each other's connections and their relationship, the way that they relate to the world, is something that's completely incredible. And I love the ability to learn new perspectives and to do that through language. Just culturally, it's fascinating. From my perspective, I'm able to learn as much from them as hopefully they're able to learn from me. The next is how much I learn about other languages and how those can affect the way that you learn English. When you come from a language where there is no future perfect or there is no present continuous, having to understand the concept of time is completely different, because language will actually affect how you perceive time, how you perceive other things. There's this TED Talk that I love, and I'll link it below, that talks about how language actually shapes how we think. And so when I'm able to learn about where their language is from, maybe Spanish or maybe Portuguese or maybe Russian, maybe Slovak, maybe Korean, all of these different languages, they have to learn the words in English, but they also have to learn how we perceive gender or how we perceive time, how we perceive what is respectful, what is not respectful. And so we're not just learning the words, we're learning how to kind of exist in that language and in a way that can be totally different from yours, depending on what language you come from and depending on how much exposure you have to English-speaking countries and to English-speaking culture. That's just incredible. The next to go along with that is, as we're learning languages, when they bring in a new perspective, then they may ask me a question about English that I actually don't know the answer to. So the incredible part about that is that I'm not all-knowing. I'm not a teacher that knows absolutely everything about the English language, and I think most people don't. But I am able to say, hey, I actually am not sure, let me go look. And I learned something completely different about English that I never would have perceived before, or that I never would have thought about. So for example, something as simple as, why do we say in a car but on a bus, or in a canoe versus on a plane? Something as simple as that, that you know as an English speaker, like you just do this and you do this, and maybe we don't know why. I had to look that up and I had to learn, and I was able to teach that in a totally different way. I love how it pushes me to not only learn about their language, but also to learn even more about mine. Okay, now we have a little bit of, frankly, my perspective. I have been very blessed to have the ability to live in at least 3 different countries and visit many more than that. But what I am able to do when I work with people from so many different places, I learn that like we're actually all very similar. And this I knew in a way, but working with someone for months and watching them improve and letting me into their life a little bit and following their journey has shown me that we all kind of go through the same stuff. We all have the same kind of drama, we might have the same connections, and we all seek the same kind of connections. And so it has only taught me to have even more compassion for anyone, no matter if I know their background or if I know their language or not. We're all just people and trying to connect, and being able to give people the resources to speak with someone else through English is just an incredible gift. I think my ability to work with people and to teach them that. My compassion is much higher than even it was before. My last one is accents. I love linguistics, obviously. It's one of my big passions. And what I have been able to see is how you adopt your language, or like the way you make sounds, and how we can modify it to apply it to English, and the different ways and the different tricks that you may need to do or to implement depending on what language you speak to improve your pronunciation or even your accent with English. Now, to me, pronunciation and accent, I would treat them differently, as I think many people would, and I'll make a video about that very, very soon, so you can keep your eye out for that. But I think that as I learn about someone maybe from a country that speaks sounds where W's may be perceived as V's, or from Spanish you might have your B and your V might be similar, or even our vowels in English, in American English in particular, are a little bit different. And so what I'm able to do is, as I learn more from different countries, if I get another person from that country, I can go, oh, I know where that might be a tricky spot, and to help them kind of make those sounds, because I love being able to teach sounds and how to just use your mouth to make the most efficient thing, instead of saying, oh, you said it wrong and that's all. I want to be able to work with you and to help you go, oh, so versus, you know. I love PREPLY because I've been able to have the breadth of the people and the ages and the genders and the life expressions and the life experiences. It's just been really, really great. I think the only downside might be because it is so competitive that sometimes the rates can be a little tricky from a teacher's perspective, trying to find what rates could be competitive, but also what makes it worth your time. So that's definitely something. And also, I think sometimes the scheduling system can be a little bit tricky from a teacher's perspective. When people maybe cancel that day, it's tricky to kind of create your policy. There's a little bit less flexibility since you can't charge them exactly, like you have to cancel something or like reschedule. Some of it is that PREPLY has some say over that, and that's a little bit frustrating, but I think there's definitely more positives than there are to negatives, because they do have so many resources with the built-in placement tests. Obviously with just English, I think there's other languages, but with English in particular, they do have a placement test with the scheduling flexibility, with you choosing your own rates. I think there's a lot of really incredible things, and over time I'll continue to learn about that. But I've been on the platform for a little bit over 6 months, I think, so I've been able to really use it and to learn about all that it can offer and the incredible connections that I've been able to make. If you're hesitant about maybe trying to start on PREPLY or some other English teaching platform, I would just say jump in, because what I hope is that you will have the opportunity to learn as much from your students as they do from you. If you are interested in teaching, go ahead and comment down below what kind of platforms you've heard about, or if you're interested, what age group you like to work with. I tend to prefer like kind of teenagers and up, depending on the level. I would love to know about you guys, and maybe what are some things that you have learned if you do already teach. What are some values that can offer there? If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. I would love that. It supports me so much. If you like this kind of video, I do have a small playlist. It's going to be growing over time with my linguistics and things like that around teaching English, accents, nerdy linguistics things, and different formulations. And I also have travel, so if you just want to know about travel, I do live in Brazil, so if you want to learn a little bit about Brazil, I've got some playlists here as well. And there we are. I'm on TikTok, which is just like random kind of rambling, and then I also have Instagram, where I try to post English tips and tricks and things like that. Please do follow me if you don't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.